Alright guys, it's me, Elusive. Before I start this video, I have to tell you, as you can see, this map, the moment I turn off Fog of War, just ends the game, even though it is a replay we are watching. So I'm forced to juggle between player POVs, basically. Otherwise, the game will end, and yeah. A little bit of backstory: this game was finished a few minutes ago, maybe 10. And me and CP were playing Golem and Sultan. They also appear on the channel sometimes. Golem has a tendency of calling everyone noobs, so I thought I'd teach him a lesson, put him in his place. We already won a game against them, and it went pretty wild. It was a longer game than this one. They kept harassing me because I randomed human to my economy, but they didn't manage to do substantial damage. So for that reason, in the late game we managed to just win with a better army composition. Here, as you can see, I randomed my main race, undead, and a bit controversial from my side, a ziggurat up front. I did that only because they picked human and orc, so I knew their races and I was expecting some sort of maybe blizzard harass targeted here, or a flame strike, blood mage, something of the sort. But I'm gonna place an additional ziggurat here to bolster my defenses. It's a cheap investment, guys. If you're an undead main in a team game, do it, because the undead base is, let's say, the second most vulnerable one, so you really have to invest into your defense a bit if you want to roam the map. So I go standard DK, CP opts to go for a TC. A little bit of a weird base layout, but CP is known for having unique approaches to the game. However, as you guys will soon see, this approach will come to bite him in the ass, so to say. Anyways, I just start off with my DK. I know I'll find a critter here. I'll eliminate the critter, get a corpse, finish the green camp, and then finish this, but I spot a wild blade master. So I figured, okay, let's go back. He's gonna go for the acolytes. Meanwhile, CP is being pushed with an alchemist. So he goes for my acolyte. I save. I do a slight mistake here of not removing the acolyte to safety, but I also don't want to disrupt my mining too much. So here he's gonna soon realize he cannot kill my acolytes. My base layout is not a complete wall off, because walling off completely has not been the meta, and here you can see the Nerubian tower paying off, and the second Nerubian being finished as well. CP meanwhile is dealing with some pressure. His second barracks, CP wanted to go Tauren with mass headhunters or grunts, maybe for a push, but he opted for headhunters later. Sorry. So for this game I'm just trying to creep, because as you can know, with just a round of necromancy on Twisted Meadows you can creep both of these camps. However, I see that CP is getting double pushed with the Tali staff. The blade has boots of speed, so I timed to get a little bit of XP here, and I'm waiting on the right moment to TP out. CP should have maybe just let the hero die and respawn him a bit later, because I was in a pretty difficult situation this entire game, because they just would not let off of his base, so I didn't have that much time to creep as I normally would have. And here we can see the blade finishing the job. He does catch him eventually, and the blade dies. So I decided to opt to creep near CP's base. This will give me level 2 and the much needed aura. So I decide to stay close just in case they do a second push, because I don't want to buy another TP. And as I predicted, they are going to push him again. However, I now have a Crypt Fiend and I have aura, so this is a bit better for me. I also am a bit late on my tech than I would have, but as you can see, there were some investments in my base. Now here we have to fight, and I opted to go for the alchemist first. He did have the acid bomb, which is a tricky spell, does hurt, as you can see here. Reduced armor, slight stun. And here I tried picking off the blade, probably shouldn't have coiled but I figured I wanted to take control of CP's hero because he did have enough mana for one of the stomps, because he went stomp first, as you saw previously. Anyway, CP is having a tough time. He wants to build up enough peons. He could have teched, in my opinion. Here he was sitting on some resources, but he wanted to get some sort of army out, and now I have finally time to creep. So I pick up a TP. Actually I don't, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I go immediately to creeping. I'm pretty sure I didn't get a TP here because I want that level 3, because everything they have, there's not a single undead hero, so it means I can coil everything offensively. By the way, just so you know, it's a bit slower, but you can creep this entire camp as I've said, and this one with just one Rod of Necromancy and a DK, Dreadlord, whatever your choice is. CP is also creeping, which is good. We need that aura, so our units are pretty fast. And I get Gloves of Haste, solid item. And my Lich will soon be out. I did go for a fast tier 3 to kind of pick up the slack, and I'm going for a web. Now this has been a shot in the dark, but I've been in too many situations where I've basically saw mass violence and then nothing to counter it. And here they kinda catch CP because I read the orc player wrongly. He went mass raiders instead of mass violence, so web was, let's say, partially useless. And here they surround his hero, really nothing he can do. He can go maybe to the shop, buy a TP, but it's not worth it at this point. I'm creeping also on this side of the map. I pick up Boots of Speed, which is good for my Lich. And I have to run over, because I know they're gonna go directly for him. Even though this game was just played, I'm pretty sure I bought a TP, and I TP'd in. Because I know I don't want to risk going here. They can just pick off my units with the ensnares. So CP now has a strong push coming his way. Raiders really good against buildings. And now I'm switching to the POE of Sultan. And now, as you can see, he has decent resources. His base is a bit stretched, but I figured they had no expo because they were playing aggressive. I managed to nuke the MK who got stuck here, but I paid a pretty strong price. They perma ensnared my DK. I popped a healing pot, maybe to buy myself some time, pick off what I can. I do lose a fiend here in a stupid way, should have microed that better. But the Lich is still there, so there's some form of damage, and his TC is back, so they decide to cancel this push. And as you can see, we are fighting them off. CP did invest in some towers, which was smart. But his TC again is in a sticky situation. He TP's back. I'm constantly giving him Frost Armor. I went Frost Armor second, just because of the pure hero focus. I give him one here, but it's just not enough. However, lucky for us, the Crypt Fiends, I managed to keep alive. I lost one, and the Lich himself deals adequate amount of damage, and CP's investment into the towers was pretty good. So now I do some body blocking here, but I figured I can't kill him, but I wanna annoy him, because I know in a million years he would never be able to do this properly. So I'm just buying myself time. I know if he has to run away with the hero and control his base, and he even TP's out just to be safe. He didn't want to check the Nova, actually mana on my Lich, and here I get punished for that tower, more or less. I mean, the tower serves its purpose. It will die. I will get not supply stuck, but delayed. Let's see if Sultan has pillage. It looks like he might have from just the weird numbers of resources he has. So I see now in their POV they're pinging to get some expansions. I was kind of hoping they do that. They look to creep here. It's actually interesting. They want to creep aggressively. That's good. I already cleared that. So their mistake, I want to point out, is they had map control until they didn't. Yeah, it sounds a bit mundane, but they could have expanded. Instead they just kept on focusing to harass. Golem went Panda second, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see again. I have to check. Oh no, he went, yeah, NK. I do remember a Panda existing in this game, or it could be the one we played before that. Anyways, I creep the Goblin Laboratory. CP is also creeping. We need his level 3. Level 2 stomp is gonna be a massive factor, maybe even game changing, because they all have a ground-based army, so it's pretty easy to deal with. And here I have level 3 on both of my heroes. Interestingly enough, due to resource management, I don't go a third hero here, even though I was thinking, should I go Dark Ranger? I don't think we'll benefit from the silence. It's not like they have an MK or a Blood Mage. And not MK, I meant Pit Lord. Or anything that has a channeling ability, right? So I just decide, okay, I'm gonna buy the orb. I got Runed Bracers and I sold them because I don't really need them. DK is tanky as is, and my control of him should be adequate enough to finish the game off. So I'm pinging CP here to attack, but sadly he gets caught. I tell him to wait, and here CP actually does a really good move, which might have won us the game. So he didn't completely abandon, but he got them into this really nice choke here. And I knew they were gonna perma-focus his hero, so I'm just going in straight up nuking everything. CP has a Shadow Hunter out, which is good. They pop a scroll of healing. I do have a nice 50 pop army. I do have TP also, so here they get split off, which is a bad decision by them. And I can easily pick off Mass Raiders. Mass Raiders are not good against the tier 3 undead army. They can only do guerrilla warfare. This destroyer also is charged up with mana due to the dispels, and we are rolling. They are fighting CP in a space. The two towers actually. Lord of the Rings, the two towers, my favorite movie. They're actually doing a lot of work, and yeah, there was a Panda Golem and Panda third, and sadly the Shadow dies here. But I got them in a really nice choke, so I'm gonna just pick off everything. They overstepped heavily here. Sultan has a TP, but Golem doesn't, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So here I opt to go to a little bit. I could have surrounded here, but I was not that confident because I was also macroing my base at the same time, as you can see right now from my resource chart. So I'm trying. I know I'm gonna kill him. So he tries to body block, I think. I'm not sure. And here I just harass the MK as much as I can. Kind of forgot about these two, but they were in the control group, so they come back. And I'm just slamming him with many autos as I can, because I know he has a slow way of healing up. And I ping CPU to come, because this is an ideal time to push. Luckily Nova came in clutch. I did shift a bit with the last statue, just to get enough mana. And here I have a level 4 Lich. This is where I go Dark Ritual finally. So now I can pump out damage, and here it was a Telestaff. He goes for this fiend, I think. I burrow it immediately, and then he goes what every orc does, focus the DK until proven wrong. I micro this fiend away, popped my last Dust of Appearance, and here I'm just picking off units. I tried chasing the blade, but I figured that was stupid. So I'm just fighting on. I'm hoping to get there, and I realize I might be overstepping here a bit, so I want to play it safe. I'm sitting on resources, and I want to give CP some time to rebuild his army. So I just go back to the base. I pick up some strong offensive items, heal pot, mana pot. There was no time to creep the shops, like neither for me, this one, I think CP did buy something from this shop, but I'm not sure. Anyways, I morphed more Destros, and I had a powerful army of 2 Destros, 5 Fiends, and 2 Statues, and some resources sitting in the bank. I would say a mistake of mine was not investing a bit into upgrades when I had resources, but it was all about those level 5s. So here I'm telling CP again to wait for all my units to group, and CP does wait. Again, CP is a really fun ally to play with in 2v2s, and he's also a regular on our channel, so if you're watching the CP, GG this game. Played really well, absorbed the pressure. Here I see an arcane tower really deep, and I remember the game we played before this, where I really overstepped in their base, lost both my heroes to a choke. Exact same as this one, only 1 entry point. But here I'm confident, I have mana potions, I have healing potions. Here my coil was late, but the auto attack right click did some damage, and I get rid of the pesky arcane tower. And I start cleaning out, then I look over and I see CP's TC falling. So I realize I have to get out of here, but at this point Golem decides to leave the game. I mean, the only thing I can say is I understand the game is beyond salvageable. Sultan does have some resources. Golem has some too, but at this point it's just really hard to play. There's a strong undead army with 60 supply, and I'm just cleaning out whatever they have left. CP just needs to pump whatever unit he can. If he did mass grunts, we would have won here. If they tried harassing me instead of the orc, maybe they could have done better, but again, both me and CP invested into defenses, because once you play a pair of players, you kind of get the idea of what they're gonna go for. And anyways guys, I'm gonna just say a few words about the channel, about me in general, why I've not been active. I do work in travel industry, so I'm very limited with my time, and it is the high season. I do manage to get into the game with the boys, but my PC acts also as a server of sorts for my work, so I can't upload. I will upload this game just for you guys, because I did have a lot of fun playing it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Soon Sultan will leave too, and about the future of the channel, there's a possibility, I've been discussing it with Jubei and Bouncy, that we might release guides. So guides as in the best version of best strategy to play at this respective patch. We're either gonna write them out or maybe even do videos, depends on how much you guys are interested. But as always, thank you for watching, like, share, subscribe, whatever. We just do it for the content, for you guys to have something to watch while you're eating. It's always fun to watch YouTube while you're eating. That's certainly what I do. And I would like to thank you for watching and apologize for not being as active on the channel as I was when we first started. That would be all. Elusive out.